All right, everybody. First thing we're going to do is do we want to save. So we will create a new folder, ornament. Oops. And then we'll do a save and we'll call this test ornament F25 for fall 25. And I'm just going to make a really simple ornament here. So I'm going to start with the circle. My diameter is going to be 3 inches. I'm going to make another circle that's tangent to that, and another one that's inside of there. This one is going to be a 0.4, and then this one is going to be my hole, which is 0.125 on that. I actually don't like that. I'm going to remove this tangent constraint, and I'm going to make this circle tangent to that circle. So I'm going to use the tangent constraint, say this one is tangent to this one, and I'm going to use my vertical constraint to make this point vertically above that point. All right, there's where I'm going to start. So I'll let you get that done. So the next thing, we're going to finish that. We're going to extrude, and we're going to do an extrude of 0.125. Again, the material thickness is 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to go ahead and extrude that 1/8 of an inch there. If you want to, you can add some fillets to this side and this side, 0.1 to kind of make that so it's more rounded there and not a hard cut. But that's a pretty easy start. So this is where we're starting. Your design has to have 3 things. It has to have an internal cut. It has to have your initials and the year engraved on it in some way. And then it has to have some type of engraving, like a vector engrave on there. So let's do a real simple internal cut. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new sketch onto this. I'm going to create another circle that's going to have my scene inside of here. Bless you. I'm going to make this like 2.25. I'm going to kind of do a line across here and just dimension something like this. And then I might want to draw a Christmas tree or some type of spline situation here. So I'm just going to draw a little Christmas tree. And I only have to do half of it because I can use the mirror option and I can mirror all of these lines. And then pick the mirror line as this and say, okay. And that looks good enough. If you wanted to draw something else in there, great. I'm going to use some lines as my, like pretend that I've got like some garland or something on here. Like that. And here we go. So now we're going to cut out the middle of this. All this and all this, we're going to just extrude cut. There that goes. And then you don't really see the lines that I'm going to etch into the material. So these are the lines I'm going to etch. And then I've got to put my name and my initials in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do a new sketch. I'm going to put my name and initials. So I'm going to use the text. You could do text along a path if you wanted to. So you could do something like this. And then you can, center it. You can change the size of it. 0.15, 0.25. I can change the placement. I can, change the character spacing. So if I want to up this, see what that does. That's not really doing anything. Oh, this is percent. So there we go. 50%, it would basically increase that significantly. If I don't want it all the way to this path, I'm going to just draw another circle and then make that one, instead of 3 inches in diameter, I might make that 2.9. And now when I do my text and I do my fit to path, I'm going to click on this. Something like so. And you can kind of tweak this a little bit by putting extra spaces in here to kind of move it where you want to move it. And you see I'm just kind of manipulating the number of spaces there. And that looks pretty good. And I can say, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and extrude that just a little bit. So it doesn't have to be much, like negative 0.05, like 50 thousandths cut into the part. That's probably a little too much. Probably do like 10 thousandths actually. So we'll do a negative 0.01. And there we go. This is going to have all the things that we need to have for our particular part. So once you're done with your ornament, you're going to go to drawing file from design. We're going to do a sheet size A, portrait, all the things we've done up to this point using a drawing file. We're not going to scale at 1 to 2. We're going to just do 1 to 1. And we're going to place this view just with visible edges. We don't want these center marks in here. We're going to delete those for now. Auto place those on mine. Just going to get rid of them. And then I'm going to do a projected view of a side view so I can do the thickness, and then I can do my ISO view, and I can change this to a shaded. And then here's the only dimensions I really need on this. I need a dimension for the diameter of this. So if it doesn't let me do a dimension, I can actually force it to do a diameter dimension for this. And then I'm going to do a diameter dimension for this hole. You can do a thickness dimension for this. And now I want to have 3 decimal places, and I want to show leading zeros, trailing zeros, and all the things. So under document settings, I can then change and adjust maybe sheet settings. No. Here we go, dimension units. So I want trailing zeros as well. I want to do my linear tolerance to 3 decimal places and linear precision to 3 decimal places. And when I hit OK, you'll see that it now goes to 3 decimal places on my parts. This is what some of you are having issues with your Lego part. You didn't put 3 decimal places on there to show it. Now, once this is done, you're going to save that. This is what we're going to take a screenshot of. We're going to modify this to then show what Corel is going to use and how we're going to cut lines and things out in Corel. So to do that, I'm going to make a new sheet. I'm going to get rid of all this mess. I'm going to delete these. I'm going to put in my base view, and I'm going to make this probably a 2:1 scale, make it nice and big, and say, okay. Get rid of all the center marks and center points here. And there we go. So this now I'm going to do a Windows Shift S, and I'm going to take a screenshot of that right there and open up a Google Doc. This is going to be, my design brief is going to go on the front. I'm going to remake that. Basically, I have a design brief already given to me. And then I also have a rubric. I'm going to include that rubric in here as well. And then on a separate tab, which I'm going to rename to Corel file. And I'm going to have another one that's called Fusion Drawing. And again, I'll have another one that's called Design Brief. And then once you get it actually made, you can then do that. So Corel file, we're going to then insert a drawing. So check this out. We go to Insert Drawing, New, and then we're going to Control V to paste this in here. Now, what lines are red to cut all the way through the material? The outline around the tree, the hole. So those are all going to be red. So I'm going to go in here and change this to a curve. And I'm going to change the color . I'm just going to go around. Doesn't have to be perfect. And now I can say, okay, I want no fill, so transparent, but I want the outline to be red. And I can change this to a little bit thicker line so you can see it. And I'm going to do the same thing for the inside here. Again, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this. And then I can change this to a blue line. And now I'm going to do these little things. And now I can make these blue. Make this one here blue. And make this one here blue. And then what am I going to do with the JW 2025? Well, I'm going to fill those in. What's that? It's black. So I want to fill that in. And there might not be an easy way to do that in this. So this is one option. You can do this right here inside of Google. I don't know if it's the best option, but that's one. Another option is to go into Paint. And paste your file into Paint, and now you can use your tools. So you can do like a line tool, change the brush to, you can change the shape, change the colors. We're going to go red. And you can basically just freehand it. I know it's not perfect. It's okay. It's the best we can do with the tools we have. Change the color to blue. Great. And then I wonder if we can do a fill. Color would be black. And let's see if we can fill in that. Oh, there we go. We can fill these in. Look at that. It doesn't look great, but we'll take it. We will then select this. We can copy that. And we can paste it right into here. I'd say red is going to be hairline, 100 power, 9 speed. Blue is going to be hairline, 30 power, 30 speed. And black is going to be 100 power, 60 speed. And you can say this is a vector cut. This is a vector engrave. And this is a raster engrave. Raster. And then you can give some definitions if you want. Vector means that it traces the line. Raster moves the laser back and forth over the black areas to engrave. So that's what I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Again, until we get Corel up and running, or that computer up and running, or the laser up and running again, this is really all you need to put. Fusion drawing, again, you can go back to Fusion, go back to your first page. When you do a screenshot of your Fusion drawings, by the way, I don't need all this. Like, just do the page. Literally click and drag over this and put that in your, and then make it a full-size page. This is what I'm looking for. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Like, subscribe, smash that subscribe button. Thank you.